All right, Business Math Worksheet Day 18. We're starting the section on interest, and first of all, we're going to do simple interest. For simple interest, interest is equal to the principal, which is your money, times your interest rate, which is your percent, times your time in years. And so that's the important part of that the time is in years. So it says Nancy Washington borrowed $13,800 from Martindale State Bank for 10 months. Assuming they charge Nancy 11% annually for this loan, calculate the following. Round your response to the nearest cent if necessary. So my interest is going to equal my principal, $13,800, times my interest rate, which is 11%, 0.11, times my time in years. This is in months, so for months I'm going to make it 10 divided by 12. 10 twelfths. I have 12 months in a year, and I did 10 out of the 12. So when you do that on your calculator, you can just do 10 divided by 12. So you're going to take your calculator, you're going to take 13,800 times 0.11 times 10 divided by 12. Because you want it to show up as a decimal, not as a fraction. So use 10 divided by 12. And so my interest that I earned should be $1,265. The maturity value is just the amount that I borrowed, the $13,800, plus the interest that I have to pay, $1,265. And so I'm going to add those together. And so I'm going to have a maturity value of $15,065. So interest $1,265, maturity value $15,065. The second one there. It says for the following problem, calculate the interest, round your response to the nearest cent if necessary. And again, we're doing the annual interest rate, and so my interest is equal to my principal times my rate times my time, but my time has to be in years since I'm using an annual interest rate. So my principal is $24,000. The interest rate is 7.3%, so 0.073. My time is 20 months, so I'm going to do 20 divided by 12. 20 twelfths, 20 divided by 12. So again, on your calculator, you're just going to punch that in. And so 24,000, 1, 2, 3, times 0.073, times 20 divided by 12. And so we get $2,920. And so this one just asks for the interest, $2,920. Number 3, same kind of thing here. Alice Sanchez borrowed $23,100 from Fidelity Savings and Loans for 6 months, assuming the savings and loan charges 8% annually. Again, for this loan, calculate the following. So my interest is equal to my principal, $23,100. What am I writing down there? $23,100 times the interest rate, which is 8%, so 0.08, times my time, 6 months, so 6 out of 12. 6 divided by 12. And so again, on the calculator, if you're going to punch that in, 23,100 times 0.08 times 6 divided by 12 equals $924. So the interest is $924. They also want the maturity value. So my maturity value, I'm just going to take my $23,100 that I borrowed plus the $924 that I have in interest. And so if I add those together, I have a maturity value of $24,024 that I would have to pay back at the end of the 6 months. Now in the next ones we're going to calculate when we know the number of days. When we know the number of days, we can either go with ordinary time. Ordinary time assumes that the major holidays like Christmas and Easter and those kind of things, everybody has off. So in ordinary time, we use 360 days in a year. If it says to do exact, then there are exactly 365 days in a year. So you have to see, are you doing ordinary time or exact? If it's not mentioned, it's ordinary time. We'll ordinarily use 360, but if it says exact, we'll use 365. So Eric Hayes borrowed $29,200 from Citizens Credit Union for 290 days, assuming that the credit union charges Eric Hayes annual interest rate of 8% for this loan. So again, interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time in years. Now this one says calculate the interest using exact interest. So my principal was $29,200. My annual interest rate, my rate for the year, 8%, 0.08. So when I do the time, I'm going to do 290 out of exact interest, 365 days in a year. And so again, for that fraction, we're just going to use the division key on our calculator so that we get the decimal number. And so we're going to take $29,200 times 0.08 times 290 divided by the 365. And we're going to round that off. Nope, we don't need to round it off. We get $1,856. So for my first part of my answer, $1,856 would be my exact interest. My maturity value then, for the maturity value, we're just adding the $29,200 plus the $1,856. And so if I add those together, my maturity value is $31,056. $31,056. Number 5, same kind of thing. It says Easy Stop Convenience Stores borrows $14,400 from Western Bank and Trust for 280 days. Assume the bank and trust charges Easy Stop Convenience Stores an annual interest rate of 7%. And so my principal, I borrowed $14,400. My annual interest rate is 7%. And so since I'm doing annual interest, I need to convert my days. 280 days out of, and we're doing ordinary interest on this one. So for ordinary time, we use 360 days in the year. So 280 out of 360. So we'll do 14,400 times 0.07 times 280 divided by 360, and we get $784. So I have $784 in interest. I want to know the maturity value. How much does he have to pay back? So we're going to take the 14,400, and add our $784. And so our maturity value is $15,184. Interest and the maturity value. Number 6, Donald Peterson borrowed $21,900 from First National Bank for 160 days, Assuming the bank charges Donald Peterson an annual interest rate of 8% for this loan, calculate the interest using the exact interest method. And so I have $21,900 for my principal, 8% annually, so 0.08. My time, 160 days. I'm using exact, so there are exactly 365 days in a year. So 21,900 times 0.08 times 160 divided by 365. So I have $768 in interest. 768. Maturity value then, my loan was for $21,900. My interest is $768. So if I add those, I get $22,668. All right, in number 7 it says, using the ordinary interest 360 days method, calculate the principal in the following problem. If necessary, round your answer to the nearest dollar. So if we think about our formula for interest, interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. If I want to solve this for the principal, I have to divide by the rate, divide by the time, so that my formula looks like this. The principal is equal to the interest divided by the rate times the time. Now on your calculator, since you have more than one value in the denominator, you're best off putting parentheses around that if you want to be able to type it all in one expression. So in this case, if I'm finding my principal, my interest is $670. My interest rate is 0.0625, 6.25%, times my time, which is 135 out of 360 days because we're using ordinary interest. So when we punch that into our calculator, again, we're going to use the division for that fraction, but we're going to have 670 divided by, and then in parentheses, 0.0625 times 135 divided by 360. Close my parentheses and hit equals, and I have to round that off to the nearest cent, or to the nearest dollar. Round that off to the nearest dollar, and so I have 28,580, and it has 66666666667, so 87. $28,587 would be my principal. I get 28,586.666666666666666, so I rounded up to $87. Number 8 then, if I'm using ordinary interest, calculate the annual interest rate in the following problem. So now on this one, we're looking for a different value. But again, we go back to our regular formula for interest. Interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. If I'm solving it for the rate, I'm going to take that the rate is equal to the interest, and I have to divide by the principal and the time this time. Again, there's two things on the bottom, so I would want to put parentheses down there. So the interest is divided by my other two things that that I know when I'm trying to solve. So in this case, my interest rate is going to be equal to the interest, $350, divided by the principal, $7,000, times the time, 315 out of 360, because we're using ordinary time. And so we're going to take 350, we're going to divide it by, and use parentheses, 7,000 times 315 divided by 360. Close your parenthesis, hit equals. So on my calculator I get 0.057142 . We want to round our answer to the nearest hundredth of a percent. We first have to change it to a percent. So times 100, move my decimal 2 places. I want to round it to the nearest hundredth of a percent, so 2 places after a decimal. Since there's a 4 behind it, I leave it alone. So I'm going to say that I have 5.71% for my annual interest rate. Now on the third one, we're going to look for the time. So again, my interest is equal to my principal times my rate times my time. If I want to solve it for the time is going to equal the interest divided by the principal times the rate. And so my interest is $80. My principal is $2,000 and my interest rate is 10%. So I'm going to take 80 divided by parentheses 2,000, 1, 2, 3, times 0.10. Now this is going to give me a decimal, and this is in years. I have 0.4 years. I want to change my answer to days, so if I want to change it to days, I have to multiply by how many days are in a year. They're telling us to use ordinary time, so we're going to multiply this by 360 because there's 360 days in a year. So times 360, and my answer then is 144. So my time, 144 days. So 3 different ways we saw that, either where we were solving for the principal, the rate, or the time. In all 3 cases, we take the interest divided by the other 2, and then there's some conversions that we sometimes have to do in order to get our answer in the right form. Oops, put my marker in the wrong spot. As I throw stuff on the floor. Number 10, 11, and 12, again, are going to sort of look the same because they all go together. It says Patricia Wood owes $61,200 on a 6% 120-day note. On day 45, she pays $15,300 on the note. On day 90, she pays an additional $24,400 on the note. Based on the U.S. rule, calculate the following. Use a 360-day year and round all answers to the nearest cents. So adjusted balance after the first payment, adjusted balance after the second payment, and the balance at maturity. How much do you have to pay at the end? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our note, and our principal is $61,200. We're going to do 6% interest, 0.06. But we're not going to use the 120-day for the total because we're going to make a payment on day 45. So we're going to figure out how much we would have for day 45 when I'm going to figure out how much interest I'm going to earn. So up to day 45, 45 out of 360 days in a year. We're just going to calculate the interest on the first 45 days. So $61,200 times 0.06 times 45 divided by 360 gives me $459. $459 is the amount of interest that I have. So they want to know what the balance after the first payment is. So I'm going to take my $61,200. I'm going to add the $459 to see what is the total amount I would owe after I did my interest on there. So if I add my $61,200, I get $61,659. That would be the total I would owe after 45 days. I'm going to pay $15,300 of that bill. So I'm going to subtract off my $15,300. And so now my balance is $46,359. So I have a new balance, $46,359. I'm going to find my adjusted balance after the second payment. Now for the next so many days, My principal has now been reduced. I owe $46,359. It's still at 6% interest, and I am going to go to day 90. Now, this was up to day 45, so if I take 90 minus 45, that's 45 more days, right? So for the next 45 days, I need to calculate the interest. So I'm going to take my $46,359 times 0.06 times 45 divided by 360. So over the next 45 days, I am rounding to the nearest cent, so I get $347.6925, so $347.69 in interest. So again, I have to figure out what's the adjusted balance after the second payment. Well, I owed $46,359 plus the $347.69 in interest. So if I add that together, $46,359 plus $347.69 in interest, I then owed $46,706.90, or whoops, not 90, 69 cents. $46,706.69. I owed this much money. I made a payment of $24,480. So subtract my $24,480 minus my $24,480. That means my new balance, I don't have a lot of room, I'm going to write down here, is $22,226.69. $22,269.26 is the amount that I still owe after my next payment. So now I have to find the balance at the maturity. This is the amount I still owe, $22,226.69. It's still at 6% interest, and I have to figure out how many days do I have left on my note. My total note was 120 days. I made this payment on day 90, so if I take 120 minus 90, I have 30 days left on my note. So I have 30 out of 360. And I'm going to calculate the interest. So $22,226.69 times 0.06 times 30 divided by 360. I get 111.13345. So $111.13 would be my interest. It wants to find my balance at maturity, so I have to take the amount that I owe plus the interest. And that's going to be my total of my last payment. So if I take the $22,226.69 and I add my $111.13 to 2226.69 plus 111.13, I get $22,337.82. $22,337.82 is going to be what my balance at maturity is. So that's the amount of my final payment. So I scribbled all over the place. Hopefully you could kind of follow that. But I took my original principal times my interest rate up to my first payment of 45 days. I added the interest to my principal and subtracted my payment to find my new balance. Then I took my new balance times 6% times the next group of days. 90 minus 45 was 45 days. My principal here plus my interest and subtracted my payment to find my new balance. So that's my new balance. And then to find the end, I took my new balance times 6% interest times how many days were left on my note. 90 from the 120 minus 90 meant I had 30 days left on my note. So I took that new principal plus my interest, and that's the amount that I'd have to have for my final payment. So kind of a long problem. We'll try the next one. Number 11. Same kind of thing. Sam Lopez owes $111,600 on a 10% 170 note. Day 30, he's going to make his first payment. So I'm going to take my $111,600 times 10% times 30, day 30 out of 360, because we're going to use ordinary time. If it doesn't say, we're going to use the 360, but it does tell us to use the 360 anyway. So 111,600 times 0.10 times 30 divided by 360 gives me $930. That's my interest. So I'm going to take my $111,600. I'm going to add my $930 to find out what my total bill is. 111,600. So I have $112,530. I then have to subtract the payment, $33,480. So if I subtract my $33,480 in payment, I now owe $79,050. So $79,050 is the amount I owe after my first payment. I then go to the second payment. On the second payment, I'm starting with the $79,050 that I owe. It's at 10% interest, and I went from day 30 to day 120. So if I take 120 minus 30, I get 90 days in that next section of time. From day 30 to day 120 is 90 days. So 90 out of 360. So $79,050 times 10% times 90 divided by 360 gives me $1976.25. So $1,976.25 in interest. So I'm taking my $79,050 plus my $1,976.25 in interest. 79,050 plus 197625 is $81,026.25, which would be the total amount that I owe, but I'm going to make a payment, and my payment is $55,800. So if I subtract my $55,800, I now owe $25,226.25. So after my second payment, I owe $25,226.25. Then it wants to find what the balance at maturity, how much am I going to owe after the very end? So I'm going to take my $25,226.25 times my 10% interest, and I have to figure out how many days I have left on my note. This was on day 120. My note ends on day 170, so 170 minus 120 would be 50 days, so 50 out of 360. So if I take my $25,226.25 times my 10% times 50 divided by 360, my interest, 350.3645 so $350.36 when I round that off. That's my interest. To find my balance at maturity, I have to take the amount I owed, $25,226.25, plus my interest for that time, $350.36. And so if I add those together, $25,226.25 plus $350.36, I get $25,576.61, which is going to be my final balance, $25,576.61, and that's going to be the amount of my final payment. So 3 parts to that problem, gets kind of long, and we have one more of those. So number 12, at least we got room to write. Number 12, Linda Lee owes $46,800 on a 9% 180-day note. I'm going to make a payment on day 60. She pays $9,360. So I started with a balance of $46,800. I have a 9% note. On day 60, I'm going to make a payment. So I'm going to calculate the interest up to day 60. 46,800 times 0.09 times 60 divided by 360 gives me $702. I'm going to add my beginning balance, $46,800. So if I add the $46,800, I now owe $47,502. I'm only going to pay part of that. I'm going to pay $9,360. So if I subtract off the $9,360, my remaining balance, $38,142. $38,142 is how much I owe after I made my first payment. So now I'm going to get ready to make my second payment. After the first payment, I owed $38,142. It's a 9% interest note, and this payment was made on day 60. My second payment was made on day 150. So if I take 150 minus 60, that's 90 days in that time period. So for the next 90 days, I need to figure out the interest. So 38,142 times 0.09 times 90 divided by 360 gives me 858.195. So I got to round that off to $858.20. I'm going to add that to the amount that I owed, the $38,142. So $38,142 plus $858.20 means I have $39,000.20 that I owe. I am going to make a payment of $18,720. So I'm going to subtract off my payment $18,720. So if I subtract off the $18,720, I now am going to owe $20,280.20. So the adjusted balance after I made my second payment, $20,280.20. Then I want to find what my final payment is, my balance at maturity. I'm going to take the $20,280.20 times my 9%, and I have to figure out how many days are left on my note. It was a 180-day note. I made my second payment at day 150, so I still have 30 days left on my note. So 30 over 360. So if I take my $20,280.20 times my 0.09 times 30 divided by 360 means I'm going to have 152.1015. So $152.10. If I round that off to the nearest cent in interest, I have to add that to the amount that I still owed, $20,280.20. So my final payment, $20,280.20 plus $152.10 in interest, $20,432.30. So my balance at maturity, $20,432.20. So kind of long, but you're figuring out for the 180 days. So I have 60 days here to 150 days there, and 150 plus 30 would be the total 180 days. So my interest for the first part, second part, third part. And that is the end of that day. Whoops, I'm going to close my ink layer here, slide that back up to the top. So worksheet day 18, now under the interest category doing simple interest. So check on your pie chart under the interest category and see if you have any of those problems to do on your pie chart.